not enough most of the time. So I can expect there to be some bans there as we head into day 2, guys. It's a good one. We start off with the banger, Nemesis, Rad. One of these teams go home. We say goodbye and hello as we enter in what would be the next round of the lower bracket. It's Rad versus Nemesis. It all starts now in Wakanda, of all places, domination.
Ooh, a little change up to the Halloween vibe that we were having all day yesterday, as already the bans come out, and it's the Jeff that is respected immediately from the other side, while the Mantis is the first one to go.
Absolutely. Now, and looking at it, you know, we did see a good amount of the Jeff ban towards what Rad likes to do. Can't get Pizza Demon, that Jeff. Again, good to see him out there, and Kraz. Internet issues are a go. We can all relate to that. Good old just having disconnections at the worst time possible. There's the Ultron save. We saw them do that a lot yesterday. You know, depending on the flex there, Gale played that role for them a good amount of the time here. If we look on the other side, Mantis ban into the Ultron. So what do they open up with here? Do they want to go with an Emma? Do they want to go lean towards the Atom, right? That was their big kryptonite yesterday. They're going to match the Jeff. I think right now a mirror pick ban is showcasing what we'd expect from these two teams.
Well, when they see the ban on the Jeff from the first side of Team Nemesis, this makes sense because Pizza Demon, I mean, he's a demon on the Jeff, but he's also a demon on the Ultron. So they protect the Ultron next as the Venom ban and the Star-Lord ban, another sort of duelist character that we've been seeing banned out a lot, even at the very end of our group stages.
Yeah, absolutely here. Venom, an absolute demon. Kraz was the main reason for that. You know, didn't get to see that as much yesterday until the later half. Star-Lord being banned, respect to bedtime stories and what BTS can do, but great Namor as well. I expect to see the Hulk Namor there for both teams, if I'm being honest. They both love to rock it. Emma save. So on the last ban here, again, are they going to ban the Atom? That was the kryptonite. No, they're going for the Star-Lord. Maybe they feel like that wasn't a big, you know, thing that Nemesis played, but we both know that Nemesis has it in their pocket. They have played it time and time again. This is a little shocking.
Yeah, Median has not only just that crazy hell that we saw yesterday, as the Atom ban is the final one to go out.
Oh my God.
There's that respect. You were talking about a cozy for a reason. And so now we get to flex over to the Ultron instead. But Atom's off the table, at least for Rad, but it's still here available for Team Nemesis if they want to lean into it. But I agree that they do want to try to go into that Namor and Hulk composition.
Yeah, but Rad was the one that was suffering from all the reses, right? So it's just like, it's crazy. But you know what? They're not locking it in. So again, maybe they felt like they did the homework. They didn't feel like they were going to get an Atom Warlock that they had to go against. We knew we were going to see a lot of Gamma today. Get ready for a lot of Hulk outs, Crash outs, and Namor versus Hulk and what he does as we find ourselves burning T'Challa. No Black Panther to welcome us into day 2, I'm sure, but we get plenty of good sights and vibes here from the iconic Wakanda location. Now we head into it, Vicky, and right away both these teams like to play aggressive. I expect to see that here. We didn't get a Doctor Strange ban, which we saw a good amount yesterday to prevent the last minute touches. A lot of fun when that's off the table.
Yeah, and when we talk about domination, Team Nemesis have a better record right now, 3-2 on domination, but they have yet to play on Burn T'Challa. While Rad have been able to play at least once, they have the actual upper hand, where they went 1-0 previously here on this map. And as we get started, having that slight upper hand is something that Team Nemesis is going to consider, with one team being able to already come out of the gates with Gilbert Noodle setting up that portal.
Look at that shield ready just in case something happens, as immediately Rad is looking for where they want to land this thing. Team's a little split up there for Nemesis. They're taking different routes. They're deciding which way they want to go about it. And look at this. They know. They're expecting it, going back and forth there. Dink's just trying to find not to get closed off from the team as they now close in. Go the high ground here. Gilbert's going to be joined by just the Jean Grey of Bedtime Story. Scatter now pushes back, and it's going to be the rotation for Rad that gets the lower ground to point to start this thing off.
It was funny. Dink was like, which timeline am I safe in right real quick? Just looking at my demons right behind me as Scatter already pulls out the diamond. Guru taking a good amount of that damage. Kraz getting stunned temporarily. But Rad and Team Nemesis are not letting loose in the space that they've already built up in this middle console, with Mello being on that no more, already finding Guru and setting up into place, having the number advantage.
Yeah, Scatter's already just shouting out the commands. You can see it right here. And I'm telling you, folks, if Nemesis is going to win this thing, Mello is going to be the Mello that we've come to know and love there in the stage 1 early seeding stage as well. It's going to be Team Nemesis with the honestly pretty dominant capture there, getting rid of the big opposition. And we're already up to a 95% in charge. And for Gale.
Madian's so powerful that he doesn't even need to be sitting in his seat to be able to play this game. He's doing it all with his mind somewhere else here in the player cams. As the extermination comes up from Gale to try to keep them alive. Here comes the whale, though, coming crashing down as Ricky and Mello continuously press the strategist backline here of Rad.
A quick whale to get this thing started now as the Maiden continues to put it on as Bedtime Stories does get scatter out of here. That's definitely going to help the pressure out. They got to capitalize on that. Mellow good rotation. Oh my gosh, it's the battle of the giants. The two Hulks punching it out. One's going to win as Kraz is going to stay on that point. Going to force now Gilbert to jump off and Madian putting that pressure on immediately. Rad taking a lot of damage. It's Pizza Demon out of here. Madian, are you kidding me? What an opening here from Nemesis.
Good primary focus right there, too, as the extermination can either help build up that space. You can get a lot more aggressive getting that first pick. And Rad do have these two ultimates, Forky Dog with the invisible boundary. But then you look on the other side, Team Nemesis have not only all the answers, but they have the aggression as Mello looking to try to take a flanking angle together with Kraz.
All right, Guru, let's see what they've got here with the seduction. Seduction versus seduction, mother versus mother. One has the whale, one doesn't. It's Kraz and Scatter. Scatter again. The Vanguard show, as we highlighted once again, gets a kick, boom, and it continues to just be Team Nemesis on top confidently here. Little rust, little slow start here for the Rad fellows, as now they're just looking for more of the ban. At this point, how much do you commit to try to get this point? You're down 91%. We've seen big comebacks, Vicky, but it's 91 and counting. And right now, we've got no Strange to get to the point. This is about to go to Nemesis with ease.
Oh my god, they can't even touch the point. Yep, they had used up the portal way earlier, and that's also the drawback, right? That's the risk that you put down when you decide to do something of what Rad just did in the very beginning with a Doctor Strange portal. But also, Cozy, they were not expecting their own strategists to get harassed the way that they did with the flanking angles that we just saw between Mello, Kraz, and Amadian.
Yeah, what the heck's going on around here, guys? Rad, you get eliminated if you lose today. That is not how you want to open up. Didn't really feel like they played together at all there. Just separation. Great pickoffs there from Amadian and co. Only one death to Scatter. What a way to start.
This scoreboard is crazy when it opens things. But usually, right, I feel like this is like the theme of domination. It's so volatile here for both of these teams, and we've seen so many teams either flip-flop from that first round and then just make an immediate 0 to 100 comeback going into the second round. But can Rad do it after making those quick adjustments? Because that was already a speed run for our first round.
Yeah, we got to get jabs here out of Nemesis. We got to get haymakers, not jabs. And typically in domination, just doesn't tell the full story. That's why best of 5 is so important, Vicky, in my opinion, as these teams continue to get set. Look, Scatter, it feels like he's just constantly shouting commands. I love the comms, love the energy there. Mello focused as always now, throwing in those Tritons one at a time. Going to bring the Ocean with him. Kraz with the clap and the push in. Kraz right now going Monster Hulk mode with an easy freeze and the jump on the Ultron. The Extermination Force, and he's, oh my low! Gale is out of here, and that is not a good start. And this is why Kraz is so important to this team, Vicky.
It's a burn, it's a play. No, it's a jumping Hulk in my face, and I just ulted. I can't get away. And now losing out on the extermination is not how you want to start things off when it's usually the fight starter that these teams lean into, and they already have the aggression and the point.
Dude, but the freeze to stop the healing, to get rid of the extermination, he played that so perfectly. Good God, Hulk mains are just absolutely rejoicing at what was an insane play there from Kraz to give the same momentum back to Nemesis. Melophobia throwing the squids up, has the whale ready. The show is on from Pizza Demon. Gonna wait this out just a moment here as he decides to get the Ocean ready here. Now he's got the Blessing of the Deep. Quick protection from him, about to go down. Good healing from the strategist, but the jump on the Hulk is gonna push him down for a moment, and the Tritons continue to go, and that's going to force BTS now of his Blessing. Oh, 14 health.
At least being able to find a Madian right there, too. In the process of Madian was also trying to split so much of attention and not only focusing on keeping Mello alive as the whale comes crashing down. Dinks next starts rotating in with that fate of both worlds. Invisible boundary coming in next with Bedtime Story right through the cracks. Finds his Kraz here. Rad finally flipping the script here, taking a page out of the Team Nemesis book, and finally are able to flip the point for the first time of the series.
Poseidon is jealous of that slam. What a way to get that team now back into it. Bedtime Story. I expect him to be the difference maker. We saw the King pop off there BTS yesterday. Got to bring that same energy today. Extermination is back after Gale was unfortunate to go down from the Angry Man early. But you look around at the Ulticon, you know, right now, good neutral fight. Not a lot of strategist ults outside of Gale to lead this team to success. So they can sustain up to that 50 again, Vic.
Uses it right now. Well, Gilbert is going to turn into that Bruce Banner before Graz comes right back to the rest of his team. I like the way that he's just repositioning, but continuing on the pressure. And with Mother Knows Best, with the Sign of Seduction, you want to be able to listen to her to get these follow-ups. And she's already got 2 in her line of sight. Having to back away, though, both of the Vanguards fall incredibly low. Dinks, a Maiden, and Ricky try to keep them alive as Kraz gets booted out back into the Bruce Banner.
Kraz there, the Bruce Banner Guru and Pizza are showing why the rust doesn't matter to start this thing. Again, you highlighted it. We've seen it time and time again. These teams just takes a moment. You know, the lights are bright here as we face the playoff elimination, so just getting adjusted, waking up for some of them here. Now continuing to look forward. Bedtime Story as the whale ready to go. No setup for it, so he'll just have to nail it the old-fashioned way, throwing the Giganto onto the enemy team, but Bedtime Story can match the same, continuing to push up 70% climbing for Rad.
Must have put a fang on that Trident, not gonna lie, with the way that he's able to move and close in this space. Talk about the damage output as well, but he's with that whale that he's got available, and Guru with the Sound of Seduction. They're trying to brute force their way through this choke. You could see the split of the aggression from Kraz is trying to get their attention. Both Vanguards finding themselves on the point. We're trying to back cap because Rad are already at 90% as we get to see Kraz getting the reset. Dinks putting them into position with a Fate of Both Worlds.
Show on, and the Monster Hulk's gonna dance it out. Melophobia gets the best of the other Namor, now throwing down the whale, trying to dodge this. They do, but Kraz follows up, and my gosh, it's a throw off. Guru off the environment with the juggle. Kraz showing why he's such a demon there on the Hulk, and there's the extermination keeping his teammates alive. Gale with the focus, nice job. He's going to continue to try to poke that Namor up above. Scatter does have the seduction. Going to continue to look towards it. 99% in climbing.
Good on Rad, though, to not fully just give up, not just that space, but to continue on the aggression, to then reposition, giving that space just slowly to Nemesis. Amadian does have that extermination, and with the Silent Seduction, they're trying to get these follow-ups, and nobody is looking behind them, while Mello continuously terrorizing the backline. Pizza Demon, the next victim in his sight.
There's only one King of the Sea right now, and it's Melophobia getting the best of Bedtime Story. That's a big difference maker, 81%, and they're continuing to get this thing going. Mello is just doing what he does. I mean, I'm telling you, Daredevil is not here, but I continue to hear, let the devil out, and it's Melophobia as he now pushes in 98% climbing. And Madian now with the extermination to follow. Bedtime Story does have his whale that he can try with. Extermination hopping on, forcing team to push back. 98, 99, they do touch, but Mello's on the point. Rad has got to now send the whale themselves. Gamma Shield was perfect. Kraz is the MVP of this match right now.
He is going crazy, and look at Amadian's positioning too. Takes care of the squids at the same time. Guru has the Eye of Agamotto, but he gets pushed back, and he still fights Scatter, but it's better to fight Scatter than any of the strategists, as Dinks had that Fate of Both Worlds. This fight is going, overtime ticking away, and Rad can easily match that. It's a dance-off, and Forky Dog is stunned, but with the invisible boundary here, they keep them both alive. It's a Venn diagram coming up from Ricky as well with the invisible boundary. Hulk almost pushing out Forky Dog, but he stays alive.
Yeah, if you look at ult economy right now, it's going to slightly favor Rad if they continue to stay in this thing as Gale pops his ult. Gilbert can follow. Bedtime Story's at 83. Got to stay on the point. They do flip it. Okay, wow, what a big push off there as they continue to try to eliminate them with the contention. Mello now pushing forward, has the whale ready. Got to go up with the blessing, get his height advantage, throws down the whale. Did they pack the floaties? Yes, they did. They're safe. Gale, elimination. Time is ticking. It's going to be Rad that can continue to get this thing as Bedtime Stories comes alive. Rad makes it 1-1.
They had not only the ult economy in their favor there, but they unleashed it all to be able to take that second round. Now, moving on to a round 3 here, Cozy, and this is what I like to see, the turnaround to open up our day for our first series.
They're good, been dump break mentality. Way to, get down. They get up to 99. They lose the point. The rotation goes their way. Works out, but I mean, I'm telling you, Vicky, there's nothing scarier than, I would say, the top skill ceiling hero in the game in Hulk. A crazy Hulk can do things that you don't see in ranked play. Kraz doing it all right now. 10-2, 10-5 there from the Vanguard. 6-2, 9-4 in the side of Rad and their Vanguard. So we're seeing these teams come to life and showcasing it as Dinks has not fallen once.
It's like seeing a Hulk whack-a-mole, literally, just the way that he goes jumping around, just completely annihilating the Flyers here too from both sides. Now rolling out though in this final round, Gonna see how that's gonna be able to be fared here in that middle point. Coming out of the gates, Gilbert Noodle Kraz been doing such a fantastic job, but Gale has been a terror in the skies, with Guru having the advantage and having that Eye of Agamotto if he could find the opportunity to isolate the backline.
Ricky, I can't understate what this win will do for momentum. You're up 1-0. It's an elimination. Win, move on, lose, go home. One of these teams need this here as Gale now is pushing back. Got the extermination coming from Madian as that's going to open up the aggression. Guru does have that Agamotto saved from the last round. Tried to portal back to get to the team. Now is rewarded with the ultimate, pushing forward to the point. App is going up. It went to Nemesis. Nobody was on point. That's actually a huge early take for the team as they can sustain this out a bit. But it's going to be, oh my goodness, a quick elimination. But Ricky going down.
And this is a big first fight to win here. Gilbert Noodle going absolutely crazy. They didn't have to use anything. And look at the stagger on top of it all, too. They still have the extermination, and they still have the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, it's 9% now. Rad was able to flip this thing pretty easily, and it's just crazy to know. I mean, before Guru changed, his team was playing the exact same comp, the mirror comp against each other now. One team doing slightly better. Gale and Bedtime Stories locked in, looking for the early poke, 23%. Guru's got the eye. Gale's got the extermination. Bedtime Story can throw the whale on top of it. Right now, you got to be in favor of Rad for the setup just because of the aggression that Nemesis has to take here to try to get this point.
Tries to get the stun before backing away here. Kraz taking a lot of damage, though, from the back. He has the reset, though, so he allows him to get into position with the Sonic Seduction. Together, Mellow is close to that whale. Bedtime Story, the same. The extermination saved, but it's going to be met from a Madian from the other side as both of the Ultron try to keep both of the teams alive. But with the whale coming, crashing down, it's found Scatter. Eye of Agamotto following up with Dinks and that Fate of Both Worlds, but he gets stunned, and Mellow needs some help. Invisible Boundary from Ricky keeps him in this fight, but Bedtime Story can't be stopped.
You can't fight the tide on either side. I mean, my goodness, everybody's in the splash zone here as we continue to see the Hulk just, oh my, violence. It's something as now Ricky is going to be struggling. Gilbert Noodle hops off 70% climbing. Rad, what a turnaround so far. If you look at the ults, it's a neutral fight for a while. Forky Dog first to it. That's going to give Rad even more sustain. So right now, if you're Nemesis, you've got to lock in and win and try to get an early pick, because if you don't, it's going to be a rough one now as the portal comes back. It's Guru trying to get to the point.
Trying to recontest, he does so successfully, but they have yet to flip it in their favor. Rad approaching that 90%. Guru dancing back and forth through the window of the portal, gets choke slammed. Invisible Boundary now coming up from Forky Dog, keeps him in this fight. But Gale being on the high ground gets isolated as Mellow's right there trying to find not only the Ultron, but the other Namor Ditto.
They're going to take their eyes out to the point. 99% to 12. If you're Rad, you want to play it like a marathon, not the sprint. We'll see how they decide to defend this thing. Mello's just getting free reign down there. Someone's got to address him. He's going to get Guru down with these. Hello, Tritons up top. They're stabbing you in the head. Someone's got to look up. Still not doing so. Now forced to back out, forced to retreat. It's going to be Nemesis getting the point back. Again, Rad, not a sprint. They can reset. They've got plenty percentage to their favor. Get those ults up. Nemesis has the answer to the call on at least the first push for Raz. This thing is going to be tighter than ever, Vic.
Yeah, but if you were Rad right now, you're super happy with that stall. Now you're looking at the next round of rotations, and they only really need to overtake this once in comparison to Team Nemesis and what they have for that sustain with the strategist. Rad now trying to approach from the high ground, but they see the split positioning that Team Nemesis has taken as they're still holding on to all these ultimates, but they will probably open up with a Madian and that extermination.
Bedtime Stories now climbing towards the top. Gale to follow. It's been the partner duo for now as they move on up 45%. They've got the extermination. Look at what they can match. Blow for blow. It's going to be Infinity War out here as the ultimates unleash. We've seen these caverns of squids before. Here comes the whale early from Melophobia. No connection. Big there as Gale's going to be making the Age of Ultron, pushing from the top rope. You've got the Luna Ult Pizza Demon, keeping the team alive. Damage boost if needed. Bedtime Stories expected the whale there, but did not throw it. But it's Gilbert that gets a pick on a Madian. That's going to open things up for the team. Maybe force them into a strange pick. It's the whale from above. Melophobia, though, is going to be the Namor on top.
And he's able to find Pizza's even big first pick, even with Bedtime Story getting that stun and trying to delay that Berserk Hole. And then he gets to find Mellow in the process. A Madian forced to swap over to the Doctor Strange. He opens up the portal right behind the high ground here from the terrorizing of Ultron that we keep seeing from Rad. Gale, combine that together with Bedtime Story. Gilbert Noodle being able to back away, help peel for the strategist, allow them to have that bubble as Kraz is able to find Guru next.
All right, guys, now time to look at what is going to be the win here. Scatter's close to that seduction. That's going to open the team up to continue to get this point versus the other side. Gale's at 84% in climbing. Guru now swapped over back to the Strange. They just have to sustain this thing, wait for the other Vanguard. It's close. This is what the playoffs are all about and what you want here, as Gale does have extermination. Seduction happening at the same time. It's two forces meeting one another with two eliminations to follow. Ricky down. Ricky and Dinks down to Gale. Gale doing everything he can, but the Tritons come from Mellow. Look up once again. Oh my gosh, Scatter jumps off the point. They're trying to retake Vicky bedtime. The Psylocke Mellow cannot be stopped. Into the splash zone. 1, 2, 3, go down, Vic.
And with Guru making that desperate swap, it's not going to be enough. From 12% to 100. Team Nemesis clutch out the first map.
Holy, what a absolute show. What a start on our side, Vicky. I mean, you couldn't script it better than game one there. Rad has to be in shambles. That was theirs to win. Absolutely lost. Got staggered. Guru fell. Then they followed. Gale opens up a 2. Where is the rest of them? Gotta look up. Gotta get rid of their biggest threats. Eyes on Mellow at all times. It's Nemesis that takes that one from Rad. Wow, what a show.
17 final hits, 30k damage on the board with Bedtime Story that was on that Namor together with Gilbert Noodle on the Hulk, dealing almost 30k. Talk about a Madian clutch, by the way, with the Doctor Strange portal, and that's why we had to always highlight why sometimes Doctor Strange bans at the very beginning, if these teams are trying to feel each other out, why it can be so important, because that recontest allowed for a whole new set of ultimates.
I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. There's nothing we can even say about either team on what they can fix up. I think that was as close of a game as you can get in terms of who's going to win it. Rad took a little bit of time to heat up there. Nemesis kind of always looked how they did. Good job to not to bend or shake. And it's obvious, Vic. I'm telling you, it's the whole team is great. Kras was my MVP for the consistency of that match. But Mellow, most important star of that team. If this team's going to make it, clearly it's going to be at the hands of Mellophobia.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way that he just popped off right now, 24-3. Can we talk about survivability, by the way, too, from Dinks on that Luna, dealing 32,000 healing alongside Forky Dog, who was on that Invisible Woman, too, originally. But it was also the damage output that we also got to see from the strategist. The way that they were able to cycle through the Invisible Boundary to combat that of the Invisible Boundary. And then the double Ultron Rage, as Ultron needs to take some anger management classes, because we got to see him not only put the team on board, but then the support that we had from the verticality height that we saw in that third round.
Now, this is why you saw the predictions of the casters split in the dead middle, and most of the predictions out there 50-50. It can really go either way, as Mellow is going to be our MVP. And Vicky, we see this in sports all the time, right? One play, one decision could have been the difference of your team, you know, having glory or just facing elimination. And right now, you look at that match, and if Rad does lose this thing, it's like, man, what that does to set the tone. Right now, though, it's best of 5. Shake that game off. It's gone. You lost. Move on. Get ready for game 2 to try to win this thing, as Nemesis up 1-0. Wow, as the last seed in this entire playoffs. What an opening.
Remember, we were talking about too, right? Usually Team Nemesis on paper have done better on domination versus Rad. And if you're Rad right now, you're considering, okay, well, where are we going to go? Maybe our better record being Convoy would be the next map that we may be moving on to here for them. But then you look at Team Nemesis and what they have, they're also 2-2 on Convoy. So usually domination, though, as volatile as it is, as we keep repeating, that is usually the type of gameplay that we get to see. The back and forth gameplay, but also the reserved ultimates were there in favor for Rad.
Yeah, and I would say Nemesis won the pick ban phase, in my opinion, as well. And we saw exactly how important Kras is to that team, folks. But we've got another good one. I'm sure it's going to be tight. I'm sure this is not going to be just a 3-0 sweep, y'all. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, reset, reload. We'll be right back. What's going on, guys, and welcome back. If you missed what just happened, Nemesis, they honestly stole around there from Rad. Rad was up 99-12. They had 2 ult rotations, didn't get the job done. Vicky, what I look for in this next matchup, yesterday, the key to success for them to ban was Adam. They didn't do it. If you look at Nemesis, they're a different team if you can take out Krasman from the equation. Melo's got too much flexibility, so you got to try to take out the Hulk and eliminate what I think is the answer for them.
And now as we move on to game number 2, we're actually going on to Convergence, where Rad is currently 0-2, and we'll be moving on to Central Park, Cozy. And you consider Kraz being a problem onto Team Nemesis. What do you think right now Rad wants to do when they want to take them to Central Park? You think they want to be able to start already on defense here and maybe break through that choke?
Yeah, so Central Park is a really cool map for them. This is how they won, I believe, in a reverse sweep to even punch their ticket to get into the seeding stage. And they've continued to win and dominate on this map. This is where typically Gale doesn't play Ultron. He plays that kind of lead, duelist role, Punisher and friends. So I expect them to make that swap. Probably going offense first. They like that usually to prove what they can do early on. But we'll have to see of what they change. For me, I need to see they've learned from yesterday. And it does start here in just a moment in that pick and ban.
If they do start off things on the attack too, we also know that they have a pretty interesting Wolverine gameplay that they could roll out with. We're going to have to see how they break through that choke. Obviously, we've been seeing the combination of the store with the Omega Hurricane as well as the Moon Knight with the Hand of Khonshu, building up both of those ults just as quickly to break through these chokes. And we saw a lot of momentum built up just from those compositions alone at the very beginning of a map like Central Park.
Yeah, for sure. And if you're Nemesis, keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you guys played, again, just kind of loose fun. We could see that from them. And Madian was that perfect complement piece to what Melo does. And the strategist front, they were always just on point, keeping their team up. Great rotations in terms of keeping everybody alive. But the X factor is going to be their missing piece from yesterday. Krasman, again, look to see what they do there. Guru, the end of the game on Angela. Does he go back and does he start with Angela? Maybe in the later half of this point, but maybe in the first, you do have some push-off potentials. But again, we'll see what they can do. This is going to be their home, pick, their map pick. And so Rad does feel comfortable on the map. We talk about it a lot. We have usually the best players. Speedery and friends are playing Ultron, right? Gale does play that role for them, but I love to see him on that kind of carry duelist role more.
Yeah, we know that not only can he play Ultron, we've seen him on the Punisher before, Adam. Although Punisher's taking a step back, we've been seeing him a little bit more often, even after yesterday here. And as we move on to our pick and ban phase, Cozy, you were talking about it. You like what you saw from both these teams. The double Ultron and double Emma save makes you wonder what that first ban is going to look like. Because we saw Rad, they really focus on banning that Star-Lord, that Venom, that Jeff, Mantis, obviously. And as we move on to Central Park, it could be a different look, maybe a bigger focus on the Vanguard specifically.
Oh, for sure. And, honestly, this is a great map to ban Strange if you're going to do so as well, which we saw a little bit yesterday. We'll see if they jump into that today. It's Emma, the first one out for them. Scatter. There's the respect. Right back on over. This is one of the hardest Jeff maps to play against. And so I love the opening there to get Jeff out. Pizza Demon shut down off the gate. They're going to have to win the old-fashioned way for this team. First save. Going to go up for them. And, we'll see what... Yeah, okay. I'm telling you, they went from not protecting or banning it, right, into the inverse, getting the save right off the bat. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to see Gale on the Atom for sure.
Yeah, because they had the Atom banned against them in that last game. So playing into one of their win conditions here when we have Gale being able to pop off on Atom was something else that we were wondering about as the Mantis ban comes out next from Team Nemesis and they want to protect that Magneto.
Now, if you're Nemesis, you don't need to ban Ultron here because really the main player of that is Gale. He'll be on the Atom. Sometimes they do flex the Atom and Gale still plays the Ultron, so we'll see if they go that route. Jeff ban going to happen for them just to match blow for blow. Magneto saved there to give Scatter some comfortability. And then again, this is, do we see the Hulk ban? That's what I would target, but also have to get rid of Human Torch here. I hope Human Torch doesn't sneak through for this team because we know without question, Melo would love to have access to the heat in Torch. Ultron's going to be saved up. Mantis ban. Oh boy, let's see how this, they have one more ban. Hulk, Torch, both are very important. We'll see what way they go, Vic.
There's only so much you have.
I don't think they go. I would not go Star-Lord with the strengths of the other team personally. I think Melo plays Torch a lot better. Not crazy about it. Not crazy about it.
Oh man, you're gonna have Ultron and Torch up in the sky, something that we usually see side by side. Because if you do get the Ultron Protect, which it's gonna be the Emma Frost this time around. Okay, so that was good on the Team Nemesis to recognize. Okay, we can't play Emma Frost. They just banned that against us. We protect the Magneto for Scatter specifically, who we know has a really strong Emma, but also a Magneto in this case. So now they're gonna be able to have that safety pick on that Ultron Mag and see what they're gonna be able to roll out with.
Yeah, Melo's going to start with the Bucky. I think he would rotate to Torch on the second point if he does decide to do so. Madian, love the Storm play that we've seen out of them. They've been going off on the hero. On the other rotations here and what we're trying to do, I mean, Gale and Bedtime Stories are just going to have to be on it for this team now as the lock-ins come in. Forky Dog going to go with that early aggression of the res. I always love that from this team, even though they're not on defense. They open up there with the quick res because they can just allows them to, to kind of play full aggro, and this team Rad loves to do so.
I was wondering too. I was looking at Team Nemesis already trying to roll out with the Storm. I was like, all right, wait, hold on for a second. You guys are starting off on the attack. No Mega Hurricane to really break through, but it's an interesting approach to see if they do stick with this as we take a nice little stroll here through Central Park.
Alrighty, now taking a look at what these teams are going to start with aggression wise. Typically they always just take that main path right off the rip here. Now if you are in the side of Rad, yeah, let's see that. So they're going to just go the old-fashioned way. Gilbert Noodle has played some of the best Groot in the tournament, so just go right up through the tree. It's going to be tree on tree though, as we also see Team Nemesis get that going for Kraz, who can play it all. Dinks in the Loki pick I like a lot though here for the defensive effort, Vic.
Yeah, because then you'll be able to get that copy either onto Ricky or Madian, or, after the interviews we even had just yesterday, don't be afraid to get that Loki copy onto a duelist if the situation calls for it. But again, it's all situational when you want to be able to have that sustained, especially when you're starting off on the defense. Already a lot of damage output coming out from Dead Time Story from Rad.
Yeah, good aggression here right off the rip. Forky Dog a little low and climbing. 72% for Forky is crazy, but to match, Amadian's right there as well with Ricky to follow. The ults are flying here as we are just seconds into this thing. Scatter, though, going to get the first bit of Guru once again. Guru going down early, not great for the team in terms of what they want to do rotation-wise. Amadian trying to hunt Bedtime Stories. That's going to be a tough fight to take. I back away with the team there. Smart decision. Continues to push in. It is Gilbert Noodle getting pushed way back into there at the hands of Mello. That's rough. Now he's got the Kraken impact.
And that's a big stagger, not only in the damage output that Guru wants to build up with the Emma Frost and the Beam, but also with Gilbert Noodle. So this puts a dent with 2 minutes, 50 seconds still on the clock for Rad. They got Forky Dog and that Invisible Boundary, as well as a reset from Bedtime Story and the Phoenix Ultimate.
All right, now Mello looking to do what he does best. Look at the entire team is fully loaded on each side. Guru still has some time to get there with the rest of them now as the disappear goes up from Forky Dog. The group goes out now, and it's going to be all of Rad trying to sim what they've got, but it's Bedtime Stories to match. Nothing come from it, and Ricky now putting up the first ult. That was not great for Rad. They didn't get anything from there. Pizza Demon now 2 ult. Gale can do the res, but they're going to have to win the old-fashioned way, Vic.
Yeah, they do, and with the Invisible Boundary, it sets Mello up in the driver's seat. It's the wombo combo between the Strangling Prison and the Bucky Kraken Impact, but Gale in the back, born again, brings them right back around after Team Nemesis were patiently waiting on cycling through these ultimates. Now Rad Esports will be able to have the Silent Seduction, and Scatter does have that Meteor AM that he wants to hold on to.
The word of the day is once again, Vicky, as Mello gets Forky Dog out of there. And, okay, at least a little bit of a slowdown there, but we have 2 down, so it's going to be rough for them. They're pushing, though, with full aggression on this defensive effort. It's Amadian who's had now 2 absolute clutch. And even going back to the first map there, Vicky, he's been playing in a disgusting Ultron for this team as he just picks off Bedtime Story and the rest of Rad.
Right, like he had put down 17.5k healing and 17.2k damage just in that last match before he made the swap over to that Doctor Strange, where he also tried to pull off an Eye of Agamotto, and now Amadian has been able to boost up these Ultron ultimates just as quickly. But Rad, Gilbert Noodle has that Strangling Prison with Bedtime Story and the Phoenix Ultimate.
Blink and it's gone. There's only 1:11 left. Rad has to get something rolling here. They've not gotten anything to get the slowdown on Nemesis. Mello just charging right back up to that Kraken Impact. Once again, it's going to be the Imprison coming up, and there it is. Once again, we've got the combo coming from Rad, and there is once again the Nothing Burger from the team. Kraz going to with his own, and it's Mello getting Gale out of this, and it is just a show right now. Nemesis playing absolutely just nasty.
Man, the difference is Gale couldn't get the reset because of the invisible boundary that was met by Ricky. Meanwhile, Mello was able to get at least one reset, and then he just gets to steal Guru from the cracks of the Groot wall.
Oh my gosh, just the arms loaded, the bodies are dropping, and it's just right now, one Winter is feasting. It's crazy what Melo's able to do for the consistency of the team. Scatter doing a great job here. Meteor M ready to go. They've got the extermination to follow. Bedtime Story with the quick swap to Moon Knight. 14 seconds and down. Rad is got to get the point here if they want any chance in this lower bracket to not face elimination. There comes Khonshu. He does get Melo out of there. That's the pick they need, Vicky. Oh my gosh, a big one at that now as Dinks trying to push this team in. It's full aggression from Rad, but the Meteor M goes up. The slam dunk slams down, and it lands. A big one. Bedtime Story out.
Gets a bigger problem out of here before he builds up another set of ultimates, considering he gets a hand of Khonshu just as quick as Gilbert Noodle brings everybody together with a strangling prison, but with nobody else to follow up, no sustain. Team Nemesis, overtime taken away. Rad desperately trying to recontest with this portal, but Team Nemesis did lose out on Scatter. They lost out on Ricky, and Mello comes right back around with a portal of his own.
Crash just having his own way with Groot now, trying to push the team out of there. Look at these walls through. The magic does get... Oh, kid up. I love the switch over here to Wolverine. It's a big one at that. Bedtime Story coming back with the passive. The good swaps and the switches. They got to stay on point, though. Time is ticking. One bit left for the hopes of Rad. Anything's possible, but right now it's looking rough for this team. Someone's got to stay on the point. No mistakes can be made here, as now it's Amadian getting yet another crucial pick. Mello to follow. What a defense. What a team. Your lowest seed right now puts on a massive show.
And what a Groot wall, by the way, from Kraz. You see that? They were able to isolate both of the main strategists in that one hallway with the health pack, and there was nothing they could do. Even if they wrapped up on the other side, they were still getting harassed. There was nowhere for them to go to help the rest of the team that needed to desperately stay on that point for overtime.
Amadian right now, he's going to get my tip of the cap, right? We try not to always highlight the terrors of 100 Thieves. Like, we know how well they're going to do. We know Mello would show up. It's Amadian and that difference maker, and just honestly being unsolvable for this roster of Rad. I mean, hey, your only option now, as your back is now facing against the wall, is to put on a defensive show of a lifetime. 80s Bears type of material, Vicky. If I'm Rad, I'm nervous.
Because you got to talk about what's on the line. This is the lower side of the bracket. And when Team Nemesis already has taken game number 1 and they just fully held off your attack, we have to see how this second game goes, because they're finding this as one step closer to sitting at match point for the series.
You know, when I was looking at the predictions today and I looked between these two teams, they're so tough, Vicky, because Rad is kind of the hot streak team, but Nemesis is more experienced. You know, they've been in so many big matches like this, and the standout in Mello and their identity of who they are, 2-0, 2-0 Rad to open up the seeding, then 0-2 and struggling since. But we see here now as a porter, they're going to do the portal turret. Wow. You know who does this a lot is Rad. I've seen this from them, but it's going to be the opposition now. And what a way to just get this thing aggression right away.
Peekaboo, I see you. Gets the turret, ready to go right through the window. Puts down the pressure. You see the group walls putting out. As Scatter takes a good amount of that damage before he tries to split up more attention with Amadian going uncontested, because Rad looking around them like chameleons. One eye up on that portal, the other eye down that hallway. And Forky Dog too taking a good chunk of that damage. But with Scatter fighting Guru, this sets up Team Nemesis to freely take the points. Rad nowhere in sight.
You'll clock the stopwatch. Speedrun complete. Someone tried to beat that time. What? Talk about shaking off the first match. No. What? What just happened? 1-0, and let's take a look at the time here after the MVP. I mean, no more than 7 minutes. I don't think I've seen that game mode go quicker. That is just absolute madness, and one team showing up with absolute guts, knowing what's at stake. 5 minutes, 32 seconds? Is this dominant? What the hell?
Dude, they only died 3 times. Oh my, they only went down 3 times. Look at this score. This is Marvel Rivals Ignite playoffs. This is the lower side of the bracket. And now Team Nemesis are at match point. They're upset. They want revenge. Amadian 18-0. Mello single-handedly terrorizing this team.
Everything clicked. Every single thing clicked. The team is absolutely playing like they belong in this thing. And You know, again, we saw they had to change their whole identity when they lost Kraz. They were playing one tank. That was not going to get it done. When this team's back into full form, they know exactly who they can be. We saw it right there. And it's not even just Kraz. Everybody's stepping it up to play. I would say Ricky and the visible boundaries and the timing of those were absolute perfection. And it's just a lot of scattered play right now. But hey, listen, this team's done reverse sweeps. We've seen crazier in Ignites. But if that's any indication of what map 3 is going to be, a 5-minute match in the playoffs is something I did not have on my bingo card.
Nope. I guess you see something every day, but can we talk about these walls from Kraz 2 were honestly one of my MVP things to look for, just because not only did he block out the positioning and isolate the strategists, but constantly we're trying to wall everybody from Rad inside. They felt the pressure. They can't even poke one toe outside of that one choke, yet they have to see that they barely even got any progress when they were on the attack, and Rad just walked up for free.
I mean, just crazy, right? I mean, just giving that one away as easily as possible on your home court, too, the map that you picked, and really just going down there with the quick portal and the Punisher. That's something that, you know, you'd want to see from a team trying to do some shock and all. Right now, it's all Nemesis on top. This team that just does not get a lot of, you know, talk about, you know, didn't have the best seed showing, but they can just break giants time and time again. We go back and look at what they did in stage 1. It's the same team, Vic. We talk about these teams that had roster mania and a bunch of things change. This is one consistent team that's continued to do what they do in the shadows, and it's showing here right now in what they did versus Rad. They are up 2-0. It is elimination here on the line. Vic, I mean, wow, what cinema.
They're looking for that 3-0 and a handshake, it looks like, but it ain't over yet. It's best of 5, and that's why I was concerned a little bit about Central Park. Team Nemesis, they're a team that, you know, they don't do so bad on this type of game type either, obviously, but the way that they were able to not only cycle through those ultimates, the win condition. You got a group, you have Strangling Prison, you got a Bucky, you hear again and again. Sure, you see the Atom on the other side, but you're not even concerned because you have all the reset potential available for you, and the strategists from Team Nemesis were cycling through those ultimates so fast. We saw Ultron with like the ultimate, like what, 4 times within 4 minutes. It was incredible.
Yeah, and the ult combos were not connecting at all. I mean, every single time they came out, it was like one Ricky ult and everybody was saved, right? And it's for me, it could be a little bit of an identity issue. They had the Angela, the craziness. It was working. It was hot. It was, you know, working. The vibes were high. Then they kind of stabled it out after getting rocked by a couple good teams. And then we're seeing a bit of like, what Rad are we going to see? And I want to see, it's the last game. Bring out what you want to. Play your mains. Play what you feel best at. We're about to find out in game number 3. This break is going to be pretty much as long as that map is, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick reset. We'll be right back for match number 3.
I want your soul. Hell unleashed!
going on, guys, and welcome back from break as we find ourselves potentially getting a reverse sweep or sweep. One of the two here, Vicky, most likely. And if you look at the teams, for me, the standout is the fundamentals. I think Rad, listen, guys, we're talking about the top 8 teams in the entire nation here. Rad's got the pro players, they got the talent, right? But when it comes down to the fundamentals, the pick ban phase and the coordination, that's what I want to see cleaned up from them. When you have a team, you know, these guys, they do stream, they do have some fun, right? So it's like when you have one team full locked in, you kind of seen that come to play a little bit here. But this team has what it takes. We've seen them against others, and they perform great. We got to see it here on the big day.
Yeah, right now Rad's win record on Convergence isn't the best. It's 0-3, so that's why I was maybe expecting if we were going to try out Convoy first. But, you know, that is going to be our third map as we will be moving on to our game number 3 of this series. Somebody tell Nemesis it's not a speed run, right? We are here to indulge in the playoffs in this lower bracket. But Nemesis just want this quick 3-0 and a handshake, it looks like, as we move on to the pick and ban phase, Cozy.
All right, Rad. Again, I want them to play. Look, we got a blade lock, a phantom lock. This is what you want to see here from Rad and what their Lord icons are. You can tell these guys, they play the game a good amount. Guru there with the Mr. Fantastic Lord icon. Love to see it, man. But okay, we've got the Emma band to open, Jeff to follow. Nemesis has kind of followed that path. Magneto, why change it when Scatter was playing the way he did, especially with that Emma band to open it. And to match it, Mantis is out of here. I thought Ultron would have been that pick, but Mantis important as always.
Something we've been seeing consistently with a lot of the teams, right? But the Ultron was a problem and how often he got that ultimate online. But the Magneto save following up after seeing that Emma Frost ban. Once again, it's just to help enable Scatter here and rocking out that mag. And it's going to be the Ultron Protect on the side of Rad.
Yeah, the Ultron Protect is huge for them and what they were able to do in domination. Remember, that first map was theirs to win, right? So momentum, he highlighted at the beginning, can do so much for a team. Mantis going to be banned to follow up. The next ban from Rad is an important one. If you're looking at Yggdrasil, I think a couple ways you could go about it. I think getting rid of Groot is good on this map. Strange, you know, important as well. But they're going to go with the Jeff for now, and then you have BTS once again not being able to play Star-Lord.
Yeah, Team Nemesis has not played, by the way, in Yggdrasil yet. And while Rad has, they've actually won 1-0 here. So this could be the chance that they need to reverse this momentum and put it back on their side. But let's look at that last safety pick that they want to lean into after banning out that Jeff. You can imagine here that since they're starting off on the defense, they're going to be able to protect that Emma Frost. But it's been more so a focus on taking care of these two strategists, as well as that one Emma versus Scatter. But he also has that flexibility. No Adam.
Yeah, the Adam ban right away. They know what they might want to lean into here. And I think that's okay for Rad. Not sure if they would have gone that route either way, because they at least have the Ultron gameplay they can go with. Again, though, Gale, then that means he'll be on the Ultron. The ban happening last. This can go to a number of Vanguards. It can go to Torch. It could go to try to, you know, limit Mellow a bit more. I'd probably focus on one of the big Vanguards of Groot or Hulk here, but they're going to go with the Invis, which honestly, with how Ricky played, I don't blame him.
Yeah, that's true. Ricky's crazy. The way that they're able to cycle through those ultimates too, if Dinks decided to play Loki, is another thing. As we get to see everybody lock in, Doctor Strange, no ban. So you got those recontentions available for you, as well as those elongated fights with you got Dinks cycling through with the Loki God of Mischief onto the Luna.
Yeah, and looking at how they're locking in and the way they're deciding to play it. First one up, Rad on that defensive side. And they typically, you know, we always see the triple Vanguard here as people get adjusted. Pizza Demon does play a great Loki at that. I like the play call here. Mellow can swap over, or Madian. They both like to play the old Moon Knight. I expect, obviously, Madian just runs Storm. Typically, not only just first point, but here on out, we've seen that time and time again. And the weather's going to get a little bit stormy here in Asgard. We'll see if we see the One-Wing Angel as well make an appearance from Guru later on.
It wouldn't be characteristic if it isn't, though. We're going to have to find out, because this is the game where they need to turn things around, or this is going to be the end of their journey here in the playoffs.
Yeah, and listen, we got him locked in. Kraz going to go with the Groot once again. Why not? Worked out so well for him. Mello plays easily the most Winter Soldier in this tournament. You know, Tara likes to play too, but Mello's been the guy repping the Bucky. And here we go now. Gilbert Noodle gonna match tree for tree. Too good on this opening point, just walling off the strategist heals and pushing the team away. Mating on that storm as we expected. Damage boost ready. What's scarier than a regular Mello is one that's amped up, fueled up with the blue arrows up, as now they continue to get their will imposed. Pushing in. Guru already out of this thing.
Oh, that's why you have the hand-in-hand coordination with the storm and that damage boost. Forky Dog does bring Guru back, but that's already the BRB used up. The Lantern Suit just providing Mello that extra sustain. But look at the damage output right now. Already having the reset potential, and he doesn't even want to get the wombo combo. I was maybe expecting him to wait out on Kraz to bring them all together. But now you have the Sia coming out, and it's looking to get deleted. Aya Agamotto desperately coming over by the other side of these walls, and it does catch Gilbert Noodle.
How is the Kraken already unleashed? How is this possible? The skies are opened up. We just started this thing, and Team Nemesis is going through now to their second ult rotation. The heck are we watching now as Gale's going to be on the Luna, trying to keep people up through the show. Guru going to be getting back to the squad after getting picked off early from Mello. Then kneeling the seduction. Look at Guru, he says, as they try to get something out of this. They've got to make a statement here, Vicky, before it's too late.
Oh, the Strangely Prison. Oh, he's going to be able to isolate the rocket. Forky Dog nowhere to go as he was called out in that side room. Kraz taking a lot of damage, but the sustain is right there as Mello has the Kraken impact again. Dinks gets the God of Mission, gets the copy, and now they're going to enable Mello as he's looking to clear this first checkpoint.
What a demon! Playoff pressure. He's not feeling it. He is feeding it now as they continue to push forward. And this is just easy street as they push down the main streets of Asgard. Forky Dog going to be bringing this team back for what is one more fight into it. Gilbert's going to be the only one that can put up any sort of ultimate with the Abyss there. Piece of the Abyss. Looking towards it, though. Another one is going to be coming from Elo, I'm sure, in seconds.
Amadian finding Guru next here too. The Feast of the Abyss from Gilbert Noodle, man. He's going to be able to take so much damage, but he popped the armor just in time. They need the sustain, but with the isolation and these group walls, it's so hard. Amadian and Ricky follow up, and after getting this first checkpoint, they need to restabilize. Rad, it's back to the drawing board as they need to back away.
Yeah, Maiden has been the storm player of this tournament, and to have it there on the opening offense, it is crazy work. Absolutely, with the damage up. It's not about starting strong, it's about finishing big. We'll see if Rad can do it. Typically better on the third point here on this map. Mello, 57 climbing, got another Hurricane to open things up. No strategist ult to boot, so usually this is to kind of get that strat ult out from them. They don't have anything to counter it. That's going to be a tough one to counter as the skies open up. He's looking to make it a stormy day. We got ourselves a potential cat 4, 1, 2, 3, nothing. Good rotation, good position there from Rad to make it a nothing burger but clear skies.
They put down the sandbags. They get to bunker down here, try to negate a lot more of that damage, while Rad, though, are still dropping like flies. Bedtime Story tries to put down the hand of Conchu, but Amadian also follows up and finds Guru before the Silent Seduction also comes out. Extermination from Gale, just trying to desperately stall for as long as possible. But look at Kraz's group walls here, too. Gale's just trying to float away, but he's going to get pressured out as he's isolated from the rest of his team.
Asman now getting yet another pick there on Gale, and right now it's just a full offensive effort, picking up right where they left off, going from Central Park to Asgard. Doesn't matter the location. They just want to play in this multiverse to continue as the Kraken goes up, goes down, and Mating with the follow-up. Forky Dog out of this thing. The show, Pizza Demon, trying to make this thing a competitive show now with the Kraken slamming down, looking for the reset. No connection there. This is the tough point to take, but it's going to be now, once again, the clouds opening up, and it is just an absolute feast fest for Team Nim.
You know how much damage output Mating is putting in right now to be getting these Omega Hurricanes just as fast as we just saw the last one? He just had it, like, what, less than a minute ago or so? They're speed running right now on this game mode as well, just as we've seen the last two maps, already getting to the second checkpoint, but it's usually this third checkpoint that is the hardest for every team.
I mean, just it's when the game gets real here. I mean, this is obviously it for Rad if they're unable to hold the 3 with 3 minutes left on the clock. Nemesis is playing with that championship level of confidence at the moment as they push in. Mello continuing just to let the aggression fly. You can see him locked in there with the red flashing from Bucky, and the limbs now wants a great claw. There it is, trying to get something rolling. Bedtime Stories has the Khonshu. They can open up with something here, pushed into tight corridor.
Jumping right over the wall, though, but as the moon hands out, the hand of Conchu tries to block off their only exit, and finally holding back Team Nemesis in winning the first team fight of the map.
This is where heroes get remembered, Vicky, in the playoffs. One of the biggest stages here to make it to the biggest stage of Georgia. Bedtime Story trying to get the Crescent Darts rolling, get that Khonshu right back, 30% climbing up. Pizza Demon does have the call answered. We have the switch from Wolverine to Namor is what Guru's looking at. Interesting swaps here. Gale on the Hulk is something I've never seen in my entire life, like the last quick improvisions here. And Bedtime Stories is at least keeping everybody at base, slowing down Nemesis, down 3 minutes and 30 to 2 minutes.
The Guru and Gale Hulk, no more Gamma Squid. Okay, different looks here from Rad than what we're used to seeing. Pizza Demon does have that Fate of Both Worlds. Hand of Khonshu, just to try to block them and separate them, but is the follow-up there is the question. Forky Dog has that invisible boundary, trying to cycle through these ultimates safely, and Team Nemesis just as patiently are waiting right behind that choke.
Khonshu's not impressed with that one. They wish to get more out of it now. Bedtime Stories got to rotate. Strategist kind of find him here. 66 and going down. It's going to be Forky Dog. Can Bedtime Stories get back to safety? He does. Forky Dog with a nice escape there from the team. Guru here over on the Namor. Everybody playing different picks. Love to see it. Playoff pressure can't be there. Scatter with an opening pick. Mello going to go down. Slam for more. It's potential one. Nope. Can stay alive. That's big for the team. And to sustain 1 minute 40 seconds, Vic.
Forky Dog is trying to run for his life, but can't get away as Amadian finds him next. Double jump after double jump, and now you got the Hulk smash coming out from the other side. The Berserker Hulk going to be able to get the reset. Clobbering time to follow up from Kraz, and Dinks gets the copy in the form of the Luna Stone to get the Fate of Both Worlds to push them all the way up.
This is the pressure on. You can feel it in the air here as the whale crashes down. Guru throwing the whole ocean on him. Ricky, no floaties in sight. Pizza Demon with another pick as well. This happened all yesterday, Vicky. Remember this? They would get pushed into the third point, then fight back and make it a 3-0. But the overtime clock, can they make it just 2 points in? It looked unstoppable. We had, at one point, Mello with 15 ults at the start of this thing. Great job. 55 seconds left for Rad.
Amadian too, right? And now being able to dwindle a lot of that time bank away, trying to restabilize. The Hand of Khonshu is back on board for Bedtime Story. If you look at Team Nemesis, Amadian wants to force out any strategist ultimates that Rad do not have right now with this Omega Hurricane.
These are the moments, folks, that define a team. We'll see now as the moon is landing, their hurricanes are rising. Pizza Demon's going to be out of this thing. That's a big pick to help with the ult rotation. Forky Dog does have something to keep his team in it. 70%. Mello's close with the Kraken. Haven't landed 2 in the last one. Scatter 80% and up. It's going to continue to pour on. Can somebody get an opening pick? It's been Bedtime Stories with it lately to slow down this team. 16%. At least overtime is going to be the option here for Team Nemesis. We'll see momentum continues to ride. Amadian farming up. Getting ready. Mello going to be frozen in his tracks, Vicky.
Kraz also taking a huge stun from Gale at the hands of the Hulk stun here too. So he goes down less than a minute. They get a retouch on this point. Overtime ticking away, and Pizza Demon's close to that Fate of Both Worlds. They have the survivability. Gilbert Noodle has the reset with the Feast of the Abyss, but all eyes on Mello as Ricky has a Fate of Both Worlds to set them up into position. 1v1 between the duelists as it's Guru v Mello. He's got high ground. Forky Dog manages to get away, and he's saved by the Fate of Both Worlds.
A slippery raccoon. That would have been a huge pick for them. Gilbert's going to close in on it. You're going to have now the Bedtime Stories raining down from above. The reset's happening. Ricky's out of this thing. Kraz does get Luna. It's Bedtime Stories down, but the prop back is there. It's going to go to Luna. I think that's the more important one as they continue to shine. Gale's going to go Hulk mode as he does. And what we've seen from him in the past, Forky Dog throwing up an ult here any moment. Guru with the pick. This could be what an absolute show here from Rad. The playoffs, the moment couldn't be bigger now. Sliver on the clock, Vicky. Any moment now, this could end one way or the other. Forky Dog with another pick. It's Rad. Holy defensive effort.
You saw in the player cameras looking right back at the rest of the team to see what they could do, because Team Nemesis, they were on a terror to get to that third checkpoint, but the Gamma Squids win again, and they also stopped Mello in potentially resetting with that big whale that came in to get that big stun. So there were constantly stun between the Hulk originally there too, as well as Gilbert Noodle and the survivability of the Venom and the Feast of the Abyss.
This is what's so cool about Gale, his flexibility. You know, I was like, oh, we haven't seen a Hulk from him. He has not played it in the tournament. I know, I popped in the streams. The man does play a nasty Bruce Banner, but we just have not seen it at all in stage 1 or 2. So look at the swap-ups in roles. Love it as well with Guru, who does love the Wolverine. So you got the comfort picks coming out. This is the Rad that you want to see just playing loose, having fun. If your Team Nemesis locked back in, you just had the same speed run in point 1 and 2. But let's see how we can get the response for in the defensive side.
Get ready.
Dude, the Moon Knight from Bedtime Story. 14 and 6, 7 final hits here. You look on the other side, Mello with 8, Amadian with 8 as well, swapping over to the triple strategist. You still have one of those duelists, 2 Vanguards here on their side of the defense.
Hey, listen, they set the ball up for a home run hit. Rad can make this thing 2-1, and then at that point, Vicky, anything can happen. Anything can happen from a 2-1 standpoint, but they got to get there first, and it's going to be answering the call once again. That's the constant ring of Mellophobia. Ready to go once again on Star-Lord. Didn't get the ban this time, as Peter Quill will be in the hands of Mello, pushing in. Good early aggression. Bedtime Stories has been a crack Moon Knight there. Now we've got more from Gilbert Noodle, just the pressure constantly. Kraz is going to get the first lap there. Guru going down on the reset chamber into spawn. Forky Dog is going to follow. This is going to be a quick reset here for Rad.
Yeah, they used up that BRB a little earlier. Looked like it also got distorted over onto the side. Forky Dog making the swap over to the Invisible Woman. It's back to the drawing board for Rad. They don't want to waste enough time here, swapping right back into the Gamma Squid that was working out for them when they were on that 3rd checkpoint. Looking at Team Nemesis, though, we were talking about the Star-Lord and Melly within this duelist pool as the dive comes in onto the backline from Gilbert before he comes right back to the team.
Pushing forward here, Kraz once again just being a demon in the backline, getting those opening picks, having the whole team stagger behind. At this point, Rad just trying to farm up those early ultimates here, Vicky. Look for that to try to be somewhat an opening they can have. Bedtime Stories got the whale ready. It's going to be the extermination from Amadian. This is the ticket to winning for them last time, as he's going to get the pick on Bedtime Story. It's a stagger show right now on point 1.
They still have enough of this time, but Team Nemesis are just going to be able to rotate into this next set of ultimates. Amadian's ult count needs to be considered here by the rest of everybody watching. Kraz waiting in the distance before jumping down and diving down. He's got the Feast of the Abyss activated, as well as Bedtime Story now moving up. Wants to back up Gilbert as he gets frozen.
Not choreographed moments like this. Now the legendary coming up from the legend himself. Mello pushes forward, tries to get something good sustained there from Rad as they try to match it. It's the whale out. No connection from the whale. Forky Dog now forced to keep the team alive through it. Once again, the ults are not clicking.
Wow.
It's just one man, one symbiote. Kraz going crazy here as Bedtime does get a good important opening pick. But Kraz, man, stop! Someone stop this man.
And Feast of the Abyss chomping on Pizza Demon on that Luna Snow. Unfortunate. Well, Ricky's gonna be able to have the dance off, and Scatter's got that Meteor M. Kraz is gonna be able to fight Bedtime Story, and they're literally scattered in the different rotations that they've been trying to take to at least overtake Team Nemesis, who, by the way, have been backing up so well in realizing when they need to reposition. But Gale with the 3K, the Gulk.
Oh my Gulk. Oh my Ford. Eliminations from the man that's just there to throw some punches, but the haymakers come out. The Mike Tyson in the most important moments in the ring, and he rides the goats to the point of victory. But you do have another point of contention if they choose to go there. Team Nemesis resetting. They think they can just walk it to it, have plenty of space. They know they're up there. Guru can spot Mellophobia. If you look at the ultimatum, can open up with Kraz. That has been all they need to combine those two combos and win the match. This is what Team Nemesis needs to do to advance.
Get over here as he tries to jump on Amadian's head, but it's too little too late. Amadian finds Bedtime Story in the process. Gilbert Noodle with the Feast of the Abyss. Team Nemesis have all the survivability. Forky Dog in trouble, about to have the invisible boundary. If he stays alive, he has it just in time. They re-engage. Scatter with the medium. Wants to pinpoint where that invisible woman is.
Num Num goes Venomous. Scatter now continues to try to make the connections. Good rotations from Rad. Using the protection inside there, but left alone outside. His strategist inside. No healing to be said, but able to stay alive. Mello going to pop the legendary. It's going to be close. The shields are going to be popped there on Gilbert as the symbiote goes into some protection there. Somewhat, but it's right now going to be Dinks with the copy to look for. Ricky can follow. The sustain is there. Pizza has the show on. It's the screen melting. Bedtime Story throws the whale. No connection. Everybody's kept alive. Vicky, this is it. 10 seconds left for Rad Story to continue or in, and Scatter, it's Mello looking to put an end to this team.
The God of Mischief to keep them alive overtime, and Rad with the sight here of wanting to stay in this tournament are looking at it escape through their hands. Gale goes out next. Amadian finding that pick and the number advantage as Team Nemesis hold this defense, forces Rad for some desperate measures. It's a portal play to try to put contest here in the overtime.
Seduction comes out from Guru. Gale's ready to go into this thing as well. It's going to be close. Look at everybody's got to be on the point, but Kraz once again does it again. He feasts again now as they continue to push in. Forky Duck keeping the team up. Gilbert Noodle going to be over on the cap to do it all day, and there it is once again. Melophobia, wouldn't you believe it, with the legendary trying to find cap. Goodbye, Steve Rogers. Hello, Peter. We've got Kraz. We've got Melo. Nemesis rises. Rad falls, and the underdogs punch up in a statement win.
Wow. What a dominating performance from Team Nemesis there. You were talking about the Star-Lord out here. Putting in some work. We had to make some adjustments. But I do have to highlight both of these teams understanding the situation, whether they lose out on one or even two individual members. The repositioning that both Rad and even Team Nemesis did at the very end there. Rad staying alive in that side broom, trying to recontest. But the damage output that we had between that Venom, by the way, that stayed alive from Kraz, was on another level.
Yeah, I'd say so. 12 eliminations, Kraz. You can see the importance. It's like when a star wide receiver goes out for their team, right? They just look different. The identity's different. Kraz, what he brought every match from the domination to that, Amadian stepping it up in what they do. A 3-0, a sweep. Call them the underdog seed-wise, but you can't call them an underdog team-wise. Insane performance there from Nemesis. Definitely getting the respect right back to this org of what they can put together when they are on all cylinders, Vicky. I am stunned, but also in the same way, not from what we've seen from this team.
Yeah, you know, no internet nerfs this time around for Kraz. He was upset after yesterday, but you know, GG, you go next. Things happen sometimes. And today, they needed to deliver. They were in that loser side of the bracket. They need to win 2 more to be in that safe spot to make it to Atlanta. Now, after winning this series, just 1 more to go. And that's what Gale, by the way, popping off right here before Team Nemesis didn't even use up a Doctor Strange portal, just in case it was an emergency to recontest if they had an elongated fight like this. And they still made it in their favor.
Yeah, green on green, just mutual destruction there. It's crazy to watch it when 2 Hulks enter the fight consistently, but 0 brain cells come out of it. Kraz with the 20-3, 25k damage is insanity. What an absolute madman. And the performance they put on today is one they should be proud of as they now advance into the lower bracket. Win 1 more, Vicky, right? They advance and they continue to they get to claim Georgia. They get to get in there and make a name for themselves.
Yeah, they need to make it to loser semis. That is where that cutoff is. And now they are 1 step closer. Team Nemesis, they've been vying for it, Cozy, and they're right there. They need 1 more series, and Kraz is setting them up. 25.2k damage off of the Venom. Even if you look at Guru, who was on the Emma for majority of that game, he did 24.4k. And Emma, as Mother knows best, we know how strong she is on the front lines.
Listen, we saw this team early on, right? They did insane work against Dark Zero. 2 of them with ease. Dark Zero has been a team that made it to the grand finals in the seeding. Then they 3-0'd Rad themselves. We knew Nemesis had this in them. Kind of lost a little bit of the identity there in that seeding phase. Found it right back. And yeah, now they're 1 away. What a turnaround for what this team's put together. And I love watching, you see Melo on Twitter. He'll be like, no excuses. We just got to play better, be better. And, we've said time and time again, humble team here. Love to see what they've continued to show on the biggest stage. And this is not new to them. They've been almost to the LAN now, what would be twice. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this thing shakes out.
I want to give a highlight, too, to Amadian and his performance throughout the course of the series, whether it be on Ultron and the amount of times that we saw that ultimate online and being able to have the Omega Hurricane just as quick. He had 15 final hits in that final game, right? We compare it to Kraz, who was popping off on Venom with the 12 final hits, but now we have to see how this bracket is shaped up after that crazy victory, 3-0 from Team Nemesis.
Yeah, absolutely. If you take a look at the bracket now and you see the advancement to come, all eyes are on the lower bracket quarterfinals as we're going to continue to find out from the losers of today. The teams punching their ticket and answering the call to Georgia, and the ones that are going to fall down and have to, win 1 more to prove this thing. Sometimes that lower bracket momentum can really spring you into action to continue to win these things. And we saw for Nemesis, momentum was a huge factor as they got that domination clutch early.
It's not going to be easy, though. Can you imagine just sitting there as Team Nemesis and you have to wait out on the loser between either FlyQuest, Dark Zero, and then on the other side, if you're looking at Sentinels and Dreamland, Envy and 100 Thieves, the stacked bracket. I wouldn't have expected anything less.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. You know, we had a lot of Cinderella stories last time. Now it's just teams that deserve to be here. MRC champions, top orgs, great players, insane talent across the board. And we are seeing it as they're going to be trying to, you know, play for it all in Georgia, in for those finals. And listen, you know, Rad, I would love to see them come back. You know, 2026, we'll find out what that is going to be for the esports of this game. And I hope that they can look at, you know, trying to clean up some of the fundamentals as we've continued to highlight. And they played great there. Nemesis, we said this before, Vicky. Remember we talked about this in the grand finals, like when we said the loser or the winner got Nemesis, and it was FlyQuest. They, you know, they handle business, but that's a tough seed. Them being the last seed is just highlighting how strong this tournament is.
Yeah, 100%. We were wondering, okay, well, how is Team Nemesis going to do against literally the best team right now within the region being FlyQuest? And we saw how that match went. Even though it was a 3-0, FlyQuest is FlyQuest for a reason, but it still was Team Nemesis taking some of the rounds. First game, they had taken one of the rounds on Celestial Husk. Second game on Symbiotic Surface, they did the same thing. Then it was Midtown where it was incredibly close, but it still ended in a 3-0. Now, and that was with them dealing with those internet issues, right? Now, they're locked and loaded. Kraz is here. All is fine. And Kraz comes and pops off.
Yeah, they were 2-2 over there to get into this thing, and 5-5 now in terms of what the sets are. So you can tell they're right there, and two of those you can't even count with just, you know, the way of identity change that you had to have for the team as we continue to get our interview here together and talk to, you know, these champs. Not to mention a lot of these teams, I believe Rad and Nemesis were some of the two that didn't fly in together, but pretty much everybody else has the boot camp buff. 100 Thieves flew everyone in Dreamland. Dreamland got everybody up on that plane, got them all together, as well as, you know, we look at these guys getting all locked in, and there's that buff there. But in a fashion way, online, and it's Nemesis who doesn't need no boot camp buff.
It's crazy because the authority you have there when you're all together, it's a different type of energy, but then you also kind of feel each other out. It's literally the IRL synergy build that you have within these teams. Looking at Team Nemesis, though, this is already one part of the journey done. There's still that one more series that they have to look forward to, and I can't wait to talk to one of our members from Team Nemesis to really see how the vibes have been after bouncing back after our first day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask you guys as the viewers, are y'all surprised to see a 3-0? I mean, definitely, I think some people could say that they thought it was going to be a bit tighter than that. I know I had my whole day planned for what was going to be a long day here, but not with 5-minute matches here. As we've got the interview ready, the winning team, Nemesis, is going to be joining us here. And hello, Mellophobia. How you doing, man?
Woo.
Hello.
Hey, big congrats there on the win. We've been watching your team. I've been watching your team for a long time. Always see what you have to say on Twitter. Super humble guy. You always just say, hey, I got to play better, be better. Listen, you guys were the last seed coming in here, but you're anything but. Tell me about this team and the difference of who you guys are compared to back in June when you were playing for it all as well.
I think we're a lot more nose to the grindstone now. At least we try to be. We try to humble ourselves because now we're getting paid. We're under a great org and great representation. So it's just kind of hard to like not let yourself get up there. So we just try to keep humble and just stay low to the ground.
Awesome.
I like that mentality. You guys are in good hands. I love Team Nemesis here. And now looking at your progress, man, I had you guys winning. I had you guys winning in this series just because of how you guys have been looking thus far. You move on to the losers bracket quarterfinals. You still need to win one more to make it to Georgia if you find yourself in that semifinals. But you have to play the loser between FlyQuest and Dark Zero. How are you feeling about that? We're, maybe thinking about Dark Zero. How are you guys feeling about maybe playing against that team?
Is it FlyQuest? We had other teams. We thought we were facing the loser of Envy versus.
Was it the other side, the Envy and 100 Thieves? All right, so
that's what we believe
from that series.
From that series,
I think this weight is too much.
We try not to look past the match we have in front of us. That's how we find out we lose that way. So now we just have to take this amount of time that we have. I think we have a day. I think we have the same time next day. We just have to prep, plan. They're both are strong teams, so both are just gonna be really hard no matter who we face up against.
Yeah, I mean, everybody in this tournament is strong from what we've seen here. And I got to ask you, buddy, we saw a different identity you guys really had to change yesterday when You know, the internet was the true winner yesterday against you guys as Kraz, you know, could not join you. Days had to do a couple games. Very good player, but definitely changes the identity of your team, I think, a little bit. You were rocking one Vanguard. Talk to me about Kraz, because that man, he showed up today in a massive way on Venom, on Hulk. I mean, he's a demon there, and what he does for the identity of your team.
We give Kraz a lot of like hard times. We make fun of him a lot, but it's all love. We're all friends. Kraz is a big component of our team. Not only is he the Vanguard player, but he's also just, he keeps the energy up. He always pushes us to do better and stay focused and locked in.
Awesome, man. I don't know if you have your Halloween costume plan. I just want to give you the suggestion of Bucky, because I'm telling you, out of this entire tournament, you are, in my head, the Winter Soldier. You are the Winter Soldier. You got to get the metal arm, rock it, buddy. But listen, man, it's been great to continue to get to know you, interview you. Hope I get to meet you and the team in person as well. But wait on just to let this seed define you guys as a team. We're excited to watch you. I want to give you the floor before we close this interview. Any other shout outs to things you want to say?
Shout out my team, obviously. It's not a solo game. I know I get like a lot of praise, but I can't do anything without them. I play so well with them. I can't see myself on any other team. Shout out Nemesis, obviously, repping the jersey and everything. Nemesis is an amazing org. And I think that's all.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Love the humbleness. You are that team captain. You are the difference maker. But yes, it takes a whole team to win, buddy, and it's fun to see it. Good luck out there. Appreciate you taking the interview, and relock, reload, get ready for the next one. And we wish you luck.
Yep. Goodbye.
Bye now.
Thank you.
That was the one and only Mellow Vicky, and that is, again, that heartbeat, right, of that team. When that guy is playing his best, we continue to see the best